Hi there, good evening and welcome to Opposing Views. My name is Emefa Adeti and you're live on MS24 television. So today, again, a lot has been happening over the weekend and I've got two of my friends here for us to discuss. Top of the news for me will be the Orphan Constituency elections that happened for the NPP over the weekend. Quite an eventful one and a lot of surprises coming up. A lot of people saying that the people that won certain parts of the constituencies really didn't come as a surprise. I am shocked from Kinkin to Krankrai, all of them. Maybe not Dr. Bernard Okoboy, but a lot, I'd say like about 90% of that elections, the results of it came to me as a shock. And so we're going to be selecting a few of them that is of major interest, and then we'll discuss how things turn out and whether or not these two of my friends were expecting it or they were not expecting it. So we've got Ekin Sopoku, who I haven't seen in a while. Yes, you've been totally and solely missed on the show. And then Anthony Julius also joining us today. So we will start off with that one. And when we have time, we'll touch on the Aisha Huang sentence. Again, it's coming as not so much of a surprise. However, the decision by the court as to how many years that she's been sentenced to is what is coming as a surprise. We may get some legal understanding to it. That's because at the time that the crime was committed, then she's been charged under the law that existed, not the amended one. So if we have time, we shall touch on that one. But at least, does it give you a little bit of comfort to know that the fight against illegal mining is seeing some daylight, as a lot of people have been losing the hope about that fight? So yeah, welcome to the show. And if your person won in your constituency, congratulations. If your person didn't win, we're sorry and sad to hear, but just maybe things might turn out. What is the repercussion, or how does that mean for the general elections coming 2024? Mohonte Singh. Anthony, do you speak any Chi at all?
Oh yeah, I
you
have
do?
Conversational proficiency. we are able to talk and understand each other.
Ah,
yeah,
okay. Okay, how have you been? What have you been up to?
I mean, I've been around. It's about schooling. I mean, we are submitting our project.
Work. How's it coming up for you?
What's
your project? What are you researching on?
My project work, I mean, luckily, is on digitalization. Yes, at the Ministry of Health. So we are investigating the effect of digitalization in our healthcare delivery. And, there's some amazing things that we are unearthing, the positive impact that, over this period, digitalization, has had on our healthcare delivery system.
You have every molecule on my skin getting up that. Wow.
I mean, if I would now present it to you, and you would appreciate when we say that, some efforts and some initiatives that this government through digitalization have, enrolled as having some positive, especially the drone system. It would interest you to know the kind of lives that this policy is saving. And so once I'm done, I'll bring it.
I'll be interested.
We'll discuss it.
I know. I'm sure. I bet you're also interested. So I'll be interested in that. Maybe not on Opposing Views, on the AM Club on Lifestyle Daily at some point to discuss it.
We'll discuss
it. Good to know. But so over the weekend, did you follow the elections? Anthony, how have you been? How's school? You okay?
Yeah, by God's grace, we are on it.
Okay. I mean, did you follow the elections this weekend?
Yes, I followed.
Okay.
And how it ended.
Which one came to you as a surprise? Which one did not come to you as a surprise?
Well, I wasn't surprised by the outcome of any. I would say my observation was that if you look at the people rushing to Parliament, they are appointees of the government, and most of them are running to secure parliamentary seats. I was only paying attention to what that indicates, a seeming awareness that the government, which is their appointing authority, is about to be out, and there is no assurance of their continuance in such offices, and so they are running to pick up parliamentary seats.
Why would I want to secure a seat in Parliament if my government is not in power? To what end will that be? Is it
of course, it's about the sustenance of their political careers, and if they have their government in power, controlling the executive arm, they'll maintain appointments, for example, at National Youth Authority. They'll maintain appointment, for example, at National Lotteries Authority and all that. But knowing very well that their governments are about to be kicked out, then they are quickly picking up parliamentary seats either at Adenta or in the Eastern region and all that, so that the obvious, which is about to happen, will not come to be an end to their sustenance of their political career. So you can see a government which is about to lose power from the people, the nature and character of the people who are quickly picking up seats. And fortunately and unfortunately, some of them are winning those primaries. So those are the things I focused on.
Actually, it was just something that drew my attention. So both the bosses for the National Youth Authority,
Yes.
Pius and Akuta Menu, they both.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Which one is the elephant in the room? Will it be Adenta? Will it be the switch for Samia Wuku and Honorable Dukia? Which one would you like us to? I'd like us to start with that one, Samia Wuku. I mean, how did Dukia win?
Well, I think that let me use this opportunity to congratulate the rank and file of the New Patriotic Party. In fact, we have once again demonstrated that.
Have I told you that I love your smile? When you're about to be sinister, your smile is just...
I mean, once again, we have demonstrated that in terms of internal democracy, practicing a free and fair elections, we have demonstrated once again that we are good at it. In fact, I followed the elections keenly, and aside some pockets of issues that you hear, which is characteristic of a human, nature or a human development like that, it was virtually a free and fair elections. I have always maintained that the delegates of the New Patriotic Party do not make a mistake. Take it or leave it. Whether you are their favorite or not, at every point in time, they make a decision that stands in the interest and the spirit of our party. And so I was surprised with the win by Honorable Dukia, because I thought that moving from a constituency where she was a sitting member of parliament and switching within a space of 1 year or so, few months, and campaigning to win, it came as a bit of surprise. But as students of politics, some of these things do not really, surprise us much, because we know the kind of work you put in, the dynamics that you do, and a lot of factors that matters when it comes to candidates winning an election. And so for me, it didn't come as a surprise, though it is strange looking at the time frame in which she campaigned with. I think that the caliber of candidates that the New Patriotic Party elected last week, Saturday and Sunday, demonstrated our readiness for the 2024 elections. I mean, if you agree with me that the 2024 elections, how difficult it is, will be won at the parliamentary level.
Is it to suggest that for that constituency that she contested, if Emefa Adeti had won, they would still not?
No. That seat it is primarily an NPP seat. Just that in 2020, a few internal, disunity and all of that made us lose that particular seat. All that I'm saying is that if I look at the caliber of candidates that we have selected, look at Aswase, Manaf.
Yeah.
A young man, dynamic, who is kind, who...
He contested against, an uncle? His uncle?
Well, I think he contested against a woman. Yes, okay. And then look at the number of votes that, he had. When you go to Aswase and the young people are hailing his credentials and the kind of contribution he gives to Aswase, I am optimistic that he's going to give the Honorable Mutaka a showdown over there. When you come to Leja Kuku, our own Dr. Okuboy, look at his...
That was a very handsome win.
I mean, look at his demeanor, look at his posture in terms of relations with the Leja Kuku people. I mean, clearly, I am very optimistic.
Somebody who contested and lost before, what is he bringing to the table?
What he is bringing on the table now is that now he has learnt the mistakes he did for us to lose that particular seat.
Who has time for you to correct your
mistakes? But the point is that, you see, when you lose an election, it gives you time for reflections. You're able to reflect on one or two issues that you did that could have cost you that particular seat. And in fact, there are a lot of things that even, especially with the parliamentary seat, there are a lot of dynamics that goes on. Sometimes it is not even the people, the ordinary constituent, but sometimes your own people, when there is some form of disunity within your own people, sometimes it can cost you the seat. So I am very much optimistic that now that we are putting our house together, now that the national executives are optimistic and have committed themselves, that they are going to ensure that everybody that matters, we come together and we rally behind the elephant, we are going to snatch that particular, seat. So by and large, I am happy about the choice that the NPP delegates made. And I am telling you today, Emefa, put it on record, that the 2024 elections, the NPP is going to win majority parliamentary seats and win the presidential seat as well.
Okay. Would you say that if, and Anthony, I'm going to come to you shortly, would you say that if Honorable Dukia still contested against Samia Uku in Ikepim North, do you think she would have won?
Well, my biases is to the Honorable Samia Uku. No two ways about that. I mean, this is somebody who has had a lot of impact in people, in the youth. I mean, I'm one of them.
So then the group of
my
people
biases will be towards
okay.
him. I do not think.
I can agree with that.
I do not think that if indeed Honorable Dukia would have won against Samia Uku, she would have switched. But that was a strategic decision. In fact, switching has made her win a seat. Maybe she would have lost against
the needs
Samia
and
Uku.
wants and aspirations of a certain group of NPP people in Okaikwe North, would it be different from the people in Ekwapim North? Because then if Ekwapim North do completely different.
Completely different. You see, in terms of the constituency politics, it is different from what we see in Accra or the national. You see, when you go to some constituency, especially in the hinterlands, sometimes they even vote based on the relations that you have with them, not the kind of development that you are giving to them. That I am voting for person A because at the end of the day, when I was getting married, he came. Yes, these are facts. These are some of the things that affect or influences the decision that people make. And so that was a strategic decision that, she made over there.
Okay, I would go to Anthony. When I come back to you, despite Horace Eko, we'll see not on our list. We're going to go to Cape Coast North and do a bit of analysis. Come to you, but let's stay with you. So, again, I would ask you the same question. Do you think that if Honorable Dukia contested against Samia Uku in that Ekwapim North, she would have won at all?
No, I don't think she would have.
Samia has not contested for, apart from a national position. She's not.
What you need to understand about Samia Uku, I understudied him a while at FES when he was teaching us political party organization and all that.
Okay.
What you need to understand about the man is that he understands how to build structures, how to build institutions, and how to relate with constituents at every point in time that it matters. He understands how to keep people in a certain line. He understands how to deal with every demographic and the need of those demographics. I think that is what has sustained his political career up to this point. You'd also observe that he was campaign manager for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, the failed economist and leader of the New Patriotic Party. And so with that sort of influence in the NPP, it would be very difficult going on a one-on-one election with him in the NPP, any election in the NPP as of today. And so I think it was a strategic decision for Honorable Dukia to move from that constituency to a new one, which fortunately she won. She would have lost that election because she wouldn't only be facing the strength of Samia Uku, she would be facing the strength of all those people that he finds favor with.
The institutions
that he has built with time, and also the new leader of party, Mahmoud Bawumia. And I believe that it was all those considerations that went into whatever negotiations that took place, which she agreed to and moved to a new constituency. So it works better for her than wanting to contest Samia Uku. I think that Akins made a point I agree with. The gentleman is committed, if not for anything that I see on the NPP side, to building other young people. I do not think that he was doing that nationally at the expense of his own constituency or his own hometown. I think while he was at it, I'm sure he would have done a lot of work down there as well. So it speaks to why Honorable Dukia would honorably bow out of there and go on. But moving from there, I want to talk about Okoboy and some points that Akins made.
Okay, before you go to Okoboy, if you take away Samia Uku and Dukia as a person, how would you describe her politically? What kind of a person have the Okaikwe North constituency selected to contest the seat for them? What kind of a person?
Well, I would not arrogate to myself knowledge of Honorable Dukia that much to say that I have an evaluation of her as to
but at least
the considerations
she's been a member of parliament and deputy,
for a while.
Deputy minister as well.
But one thing that speaks volume is this, okay? I have been on record to have attested to the strength of Honorable Samia Uku and the things that favor him, why someone would honorably bow out and allow him to come in. Akins has also been on record to have said clearly that if there was supposed to be a one-on-one contest between her and the Honorable Samia Oku, she would not have survived it. What is self-evident from there is that she lacked certain qualities. One which, if she was supposed to contest the election with another person who was not lacking of them, would have caused her to lose the election. So if there is anything that could be deduced from it, is that she was not strong enough where she was coming from, which means that she was not performing, which means that her hold on the people over there is not as sufficient. Because if she was performing to the satisfaction of the people, she would not fear contest even if it is coming from Jesus Christ. And so that is one thing that is logically deductible from the fact that she was willing to bow out quietly and find a new place. And so for the people of Okaigwe North, what I see is that they have made a mistake in electing her, because if she was someone who lacked the qualities to remain where she was, prove to the people that I have worked for you over the period. I have represented you and I have done it very well.
It won't matter who is
It
contesting.
wouldn't matter if Jesus Christ himself descended from the right hand of God to come and contest it. She would have stayed over there. So the mere fact that, given the qualities of Samia Oku, which I am not, going to shy away from attesting to his mobilization and all those things which could be seen from the works he has done for the NPP for the past. If those things could scare her and make her leave that place and go to a new place, it is testament to the fact that she is lacking in all that. It is testament to the fact that she's lacking on the deliverables. And so she was not a candidate who should have been elected in the first place. And I think that she's going to lose the general election again to the NDC.
Akins doesn't think so.
Well, I don't know how Akins can in one voice admit that the person is lacking in certain characteristics which Samia Oku has. Because
I never said that.
Well, you can't in one voice say that she would have lost the election to her because Samia Oku has these and these qualities, and in another voice say that she still possesses them. Logically, they don't match. And so that is an admission of the fact that she lacks certain
He's
qualities.
here. We can't admit
those
it
qualities.
quietly.
Oh, I mean, we are not implying. It is logical deduction.
But see, the point,
and so she's going to lose the election, unless of course, which I doubt. The NDC is not going to present someone who also, runs away from election because he has failed or she has failed to deliver on the job. And that is why
you are done with your prime minister. So we are meeting the incumbent, member of parliament. But what we are missing, the one who said who was using abusive words on her constituent.
Will that be
Teresa Huang? Yes, I mean you record that video where I mean I can't say it on this platform.
What message will Dokuya, and the reason I'm spending a lot of time here is, what message would Honorable Dokuya sell to? This is why I'm asking that. Will the dreams and political aspirations of the people of Okaigwe North be entirely different from that of the people of Ikuapem North, which both of you said?
There are demographic differences.
You see, what we are missing is that this was a leg or a group of people, right, from the NPP who met to select a leader, right, who is going to now face the constituent in its entirety and campaign to them. Now, what we are not aware from all the discussions we are having here is the kind of contributions probably Honorable Dokuya is making in Okaigwe North.
You are a member of parliament. You are a member of parliament for Ikuapem North. It is Ikuapem North you represented for 4 years.
It doesn't matter.
It is Ikuapem North that you are supposed to campaign on and tell the people of Ghana that I have worked for you and so renew my mandate. It is not as though
but she can also point to what she's done in Ikuapem North to the people of Okaigwe North.
Of course. That I have done something there and I could do it. So why couldn't she just stand on that and say, I can do more of it? And now she has moved to a different place.
You see, sometimes it happens in politics, right? It's about decisions, right? At the end of the day, you are going for...
It's about a gentleman's agreement which was made.
The point I'm making...
The decision must come first before the gentleman agreement.
No, there was a gentleman agreement which was made. The Honorable Samia Oku is coming home. You need to make way for him to come home. That was a gentleman's agreement. There's not even a matter of her having any interest in Okaigwe. These are facts. And you know them.
Let me let him.
These are personal decisions that, as a politician, you make, right? Maybe Honorable Dokuya thinks that, see, I have served my people where I hail from, right? It is high time, looking at what is happening in where I reside, which is Okaigwe North, right? It is high time, the experience I have garnered, the resources I have garnered, whatever knowledge I have to contribute, I contribute that of Okaikwe North, and so let me put myself for elections so that I can represent the people of
better here.
Exactly. So these are some of the factors that could have perhaps influenced her decision. You cannot just say that because she lacked. No, you cannot say that because she. No. You cannot say because she lacked certain characteristics. So she was running away from.
Why didn't Emefa Adeti win?
I cannot sit. I mean, I have not done.
Was
any
it a matter
research.
of the highest payer?
No. I have not done any research which would tell me that
whether this person
reason A, B, C, D. But I think I followed Honorable Doke's campaign.
Okay, what was her message?
My sister, you cannot run away from the fact that the woman went to the delegates and sold a message of hope to them.
Interesting.
I am telling you, and so she merited the win.
Maybe she had a point of reference, which would be your kind.
She merited the win, and at the end of the day, I think that it is.
Political parties are formed around common ideologies and the common pursuit of power, and it is not denying, unless the person is not a political observer, that Samia Wuku has played some critical roles in the New Patriotic Party. It goes also without saying that if he wants certain things in return, he would get them. Those are facts. And one of those things that he would want, I mean, the man went around leading the campaign of the now leader of the New Patriotic Party. And I'm not saying she didn't. I'm not saying she didn't.
She didn't.
But you would not deny here that it takes certain political gentleman agreements for a sitting member of parliament. Exactly. For a sitting member of parliament to make way for another. I am saying that if she had confidence in her performance in Equiapin North, knowing very well that there was no way that seat was going to be snatched from her, and it goes without saying, Akins on this platform admitted that there was no way she was going to win the election against Samia Wuku, which is a fact.
I said that based on my biases towards.
Of course. And you were on record, at least, if not for anything, to nod into some distinguishing characteristics that Samia Wuku has, which would make him beat anybody in an election. Of course, if those are the reasons why she could not stay in her home constituency and contest the election, it is demonstrative of a political failure. And I am saying that the NPP, through that same gentleman's agreement which went into letting her leave her constituency to come and contest as well, is going to put in effort to secure the win for her. These are things that happen in politics. And the only thing that the people of Okaikwe North are supposed to take notice of, and I hope they are watching, is that you should not become victims of back-end political arrangements, where there are back-end political arrangements to switch persons for the convenience of
if it brings the same result, what's the point?
What result?
If say you want maybe health care deliveries, or if the deliverables are the same,
if she has delivered on those things in Equiapin North, she should have stayed there and told the people of Equiapin North that I have delivered on them and all that. Anyway,
so, Dr. Ben, I love how he won. It was quite grand.
Of course. I mean,
very grand.
He was definitely going to win because an MPP primaries, and of course
I was afraid. I didn't think he would win.
He was just the MPP's parliamentary candidate in the 2020 election.
So
where he lost the election. He still has a base. I mean, his defeat was to the NDC, which would happen again in 2024. They say he's
a darling boy of the top hierarchy.
Well, I mean, he's the NHIA boss. If he was not a darling boy, how did he get that appointment? So there's that likelihood. But then, again, the people of that constituency are also supposed to observe the nature and character of persons that the New Patriotic Party is going to be presenting to them. This is Mr. Okoboy, who is heading NHIS, one of the institutions that are very dysfunctional in this country.
I would have thought the NHI is doing better now.
The NHI is doing better now. What is the total NHI's revenues that get released?
Something I should look up.
He's presiding over that. NHIS is going about giving money to sport clubs and saying that is their way of inducing member registration or subscription to it, when people who have subscribed to the scheme are not getting what they are supposed to get from the scheme. NHIS, if I should fall sick today, I'm unable to rely on the scheme. And so these are the nature and character of persons who are going to be presented to them. They dealt with them before and rejected them. It's 2024. This same candidate is going to present himself again to be elected in that election. They should open their eyes when they are going to vote. For the New Patriotic Party and their internal election, we know what motivates it. The OSP, as we speak, is investigating people who publicly admitted on television that they were waiting for monies to vote and some of the monies didn't come and they were expressing
It's not
anger.
different for the NDC.
I mean, where is the evidence of such situation where the OSP is pursuing people
No, the
because he
OSP
has
has not had
established
a-
evidence
the
that there are
OSP
people
has
in the
not-
National Democratic
Okay, so
Congress
the OSP
who were
has not-
demanding money in exchange
The
for elections.
OSP is not
I can-
pursuing people who
I
were
can-
part of the NDC delegate elections.
Because there's no such evidence.
Was it okay elections? But
Because there's no such
there's
evidence.
vi- there's
And of
a
course,
video- but there's
I'm
video
not going
clips,
to I'm not going to
footage
play the ostrich here and say that in elections in Ghana, I mean, including the NDC, monetization is not a problem. Monetization of elections is a problem in Ghana for both NDC and NPP. However, what must be clear is that that situation has been further exacerbated under President Akufo-Addo and Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia than any other regime in this country. And what we have witnessed in this NPP primaries, both the election which brought Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia himself, he was paying 500 cedis per delegate, multiplied by the number of delegates in this country. There's evidence of that. People on TV saying that they have gotten Bawumia's money, Ken's money has not come, and that is why they are not going to vote for him. There's the same evidence with the primaries that we have witnessed. Adenta constituency, there were people live on television demanding their share of money as reason for which they are voting. So I am saying that if monetization and money, paying of monies, has been what has induced people to elect these people to be representing the New Patriotic Party in the election, the general mass of the people of these constituencies, Lejokuku, Okaikonof, and all these constituencies should open their eyes and realize that in the general election, there is no amount of money that could pay for 4 years of failure if they are supposed to elect these people to represent them. And that is what people must open their eyes to. And so the OSP should pursue these people.
Yes, Emefa, you see, when we come on national television like this, and there's an issue that as a people, as a nation, we should talk about so that we could find a middle ground on. This money paying issue, you and I would agree that it is not something that is good for our democracy.
Of course.
But when you come and sit here and hypocritically try to paint a picture as if it is the MPP that has started money paying in election.
No one is saying that the MPP started money paying. I have been on record. I've been on record to have said that the situation has been further exacerbated under President Akufo-Addo
No, the point
and
no problem.
Dr. Bawumia,
I'm saying that,
especially in the recent
let me make my point.
That
Now,
point must be
this
clear.
is Ghana Integrity Initiative, May 17, 2023, Daily Guide Network. GII condemns vote buying in NDC primaries.
Nobody has said
Julius,
that
I'm coming.
there are
you
no
see,
such things.
You see,
I'm saying
so
that
agree.
the record of the
when
issue,
you come on
especially
TV
where
like
there
this,
is live
you
evidence,
agree that it
is
is a
today the
problem.
special
It is a
prosecutor
canker
pursuing
that
you.
is affecting
Okay,
our
of course.
country.
And I've been
You
on
don't
record
paint
to have
the
said that
picture-
it
you
is a
don't paint the
problem
picture
that
as
must be
if
solved
that
in
it is the
Ghana,
MPP
which has been
that has
further
started all of these
exacerbated
things.
by
But let me
President
make my point. You had your
Akufo-Addo and
time.
Dr. Mahmoud
Julius, you
Bawumia.
had your time.
Okay.
And
You
to
had
speak
your
about
time.
this,
I have 2 minutes.
No, you had your
I'm
time.
not going to allow you to peddle
No,
first.
let me bring the middle ground
This is
here.
There have been two primaries in this year. There have been two primaries in this year. One which elected President Mahama as leader of the NDC, another which elected Mahmoud Bawumia as leader of the NDC.
For you to
Three
make your
of them doing
Julius,
what people
quiet for you to make your
Julius,
point. Let me make
The
my
evidence
point.
is clear.
Let me make.
All right, guys, welcome back to the show. So we're picking up and wrapping up with the conversation on primaries, and allow Akins to wrap and touch on Lejokuku and also go to, in fact, touch on Akosia Mene briefly as well, and then maybe Okwewusi, because I thought he was still under investigation. Is he not?
I mean, I unless you educate me on that, but I have not seen any law that says that once you are under investigation or you've been accused of something, you cannot run for a public office. I've not seen any.
I've not seen the law as
it.
well.
And
There's no law to it, except that I
you
find
know,
it very fascinating.
You can accuse somebody, and at the end of the day, after the court processes, he would come out as not being guilty of the offense.
Guilty?
I mean, if he's guilty, the law will take its course. There are provisions to that effect. And so, for him particularly, I went to UCC for a program, and we did a bit of survey around that place. I mean, the students love him. The students really love him because of the kind of investment he's making in the student.
Which are?
He pays fees,
Maybe he can afford it.
No, the point is
What
that
does he do for a living? I've not run it.
I mean, we are not here to discuss what he does for a living, but I am telling you the outcome of some of the conversation we had
Is anything wrong if I want to know what he
with the
does for a
student.
living?
Now,
How
with
is
the
he able to
with the
afford
with the
It's a
ledger
relevant
cuckoo
question,
with the
isn't
the
it?
ledger cuckoo.
Do you choose the questions
with
to
the-
answer?
no, the
it's
point-
not
no,
relevant. We know
You see,
how he's able to do that.
I am
that's
not
it.
his spokesperson.
But you find it fascinating.
Coming here, I was not coming here to discuss what a Kowusi does for a living.
No, that's
I mean,
fascinating.
all
so you
that
don't
I'm
answer
saying
the
is that,
question,
yes,
so let's
all
go.
that I'm saying is that. So let's
Which
move
one
on.
would you want
Now
to
with the
move on?
Ledger Cuckoo issue with Dr. Koboy, my brother Julius was saying that somebody that has been defeated before, now he's coming back. Hey, my brother, if it is about being defeated and coming back, then your flag bearer you are supporting has also been defeated in the 2016 elections and
fundamental
2020.
was
That's
not-
No, the point
No,
is
the
that
fundamental
you
point
said
was
that
not about
you
being
said
defeated
no,
and
you
coming
said the
back.
person
We are
has been
saying that
defeated.
the
So
records
what
of
is
the
he
person-
bringing?
Moreover-
What is he
moreover-
bringing?
moreover-
No, the
exactly.
point. What is he bringing?
Exactly.
And I am telling you that
And
if it is
he's
just
still
about
also
being
in government
defeated,
office today
if it is
at
just
NHIS.
about, if it is just
What
about,
are the
Things that
deliverables?
yes, and with
NHIS is not
What are the
it's not
deliverables?
functioning properly.
So
and
that is what I
how
want them to test him on.
I am actually surprised
see,
because I would have thought that
and
today.
NHIS that the NPP came into government, which was in debt, today has
NHIS
paid. Yes,
NHIS
check.
was
in
in
debt
debt
when
of how
when
much?
when NPP came. I'll
And-
get to
and-
the figures.
and-
I'll
and-
get to
and-
when
and as
NPP
of
came.
today, what's the function of NHIS?
Today they have.
NHIS will
you see,
not even
Julius,
get you paracetamol
No, you said
in Ghana
MF,
today.
We've
that is
narrated
not
some
true.
of the
NHIS
child
That is not true.
responses.
That is not true. Today,
covering some
that is
child
not true.
cancers.
The question,
That is not true.
the question
Today,
is on
that is
outcomes.
not true.
Not
Julius.
about you
It
coming
is not
to tell
true
us that you have done
NHIS
this, you
cannot
have
give
enrolled this.
paracetamol.
It can
No.
give
I mean, and
paracetamol.
more
It
today.
may not
Today,
be
people.
there.
No, the point is that today people even sit. in
Who
their
are the
homes.
beneficiaries
No,
of
I am
NHIS
saying-
in Ghana?
But
What are you
NHIS
saying?
is doing
I mean,
something.
what
NHIS is not doing
what is Julius
anything,
saying?
right?
I'm
in
saying
fact,
that.
NHIS is not getting even up to 40% of its due.
No,
under
you see,
Okobo.
those are discussions.
Under
Those
Okobo.
are
Those are
policy.
policy.
Those are
And he's
discussions
saying,
that
what
we
is
can
he
make.
doing about it?
You see,
You are
the point we
presiding
are
about
making
an
is that the point we are
institution
making is that
which is
if you make
infunctional because of
make
your
a
own
comment
government's doing.
that
What
because
are you doing
Okobai
about
has
that?
been defeated,
No,
and so the good people of
that's not the point.
Lejokuku should
You
not
made a
vote for him
point
again.
that you
Then
made
the
a point that he has
flag
made
bearer,
certain mistakes.
You are following.
You know what?
Shouldn't
Let me-
even
let me-
come
let-
up for
let-
election
the
because
point is
he has
this.
been
You made a
defeated
point.
twice and rejected by the good people of
No,
Ghana.
you made a
Okay,
point that he
okay.
has made
If we
mistakes.
don't have
What
clarity,
mistakes
we'll
has he
go
made?
for a break.
You've
I don't want
spoken
to go
as
for a
an
break
admirer of
anymore.
Samia Oku. In 2016, Samia Oku queried President Mahama that if President Mahama claimed that he has made mistakes, what are the costs of those mistakes? The mistakes that he made in
what I
Legislature.
said.
What
You
are the
see,
costs
you
of
are
it?
misrepresenting
He's
me.
in-
What
he's
I
at
said,
NHIS
what I
misrepresenting
said,
him.
you are misrepresenting me.
He's at
What I
NHIS
said,
presiding
what I
over
said
an
is that when
institution
people
which
lose
is not
election,
even able to release up to 50% of its revenues.
What I said is that when
Presiding
people,
over such an
Julius,
institution,
let me make my
and it is
point.
costing lives, and he's
I'd
going
like to
back
hear
to be
from-
elected
I
as
want to
a
hear
member
from-
of
Let me make my
parliament.
point.
Let me hear from
What
Aki.
I said is that when people lose elections, they are able to sit back and have reflections.
reflect. We can-
That is why your flag bearer,
And-
you are
and we are
supporting
saying
me,
that-
saying
and we are
that
saying that
he has
his
lost an
case-
election
his-
and has gone home and has reflected.
I find this
and so
quite
if you
relevant.
make,
And-
so if
no,
you make,
what-
if you
what-
make
what
a
he's
comment,
leaving out is
no,
the
if you
fact
make
that
a comment
the person
that
we are
because
talking
he has
about
lost, they will
is
reject
still
him,
in
then
government
Mahama will be
today,
rejected again.
presiding over one of
What
the
are you
most
telling me?
important institutions that have a bearing
Okay, let
on
me
the
rephrase
lives
the
of the
question.
average
Let me
Ghanaian.
rephrase
The
the
National
question.
Health
Let me
Insurance
rephrase the
Authority.
question.
What
So
is his
Akin
performance
says
over
that
there?
He
That is the
doesn't
question.
think that him as the head of the National Health Insurance Scheme or as the head of it, it's not functioning to the best of his ability for us to say that because he's not doing well, we're not going to vote for. I would have thought it's the hospital that would be a matter. I didn't even think it would be the
You see, that
health insurance.
is his opinion, right?
No, it's not an opinion, it's a
Julius,
fact.
it
What
is
is the
not a
function
fact.
of NHI?
It is-
As of today, they don't
Julius.
even get
Actually,
up
it's
to
an
30%.
opinion, 'cause a lot of people think
it's
that-
a question of
These are
fact if
policy
NHI is
directions of
getting
government.
its money.
These are
to
policy
work.
directions of
And
government.
he's presiding over
Okay,
such a
let's move
disaster
away.
These are
institution
policy
under your
directions of
move away
government. You
from
cannot
that
say
one.
You
because
can choose
these
your opinions,
policies-
not your
poli-
facts.
policy
The fact is
directions
that
of government.
how is
hang on,
NHI
guys.
functioning under you?
Guys,
That
hang
is
on,
the question.
hang on.
That is
Hang
the
on,
question.
hang on, guys.
It's a question of
Let's
facts.
move away from the NHI. Relevant point, relevant counter. But I'm asking, there's another point. This hospital that has been a problem in Lejokuku,
Yes.
what's the name of that hospital?
What's the name?
The La Hospital.
The La
General Hospital.
General Hospital.
Demolished under his watch.
You don't think that...
And he did nothing about it.
Because no, even if it wasn't Dr. Okoboy, as he described, if he brought Jesus Christ, would you think he would make any impact in collecting any form of votes for you in that constituency? Do you think you'll make an impact? Have you guys not given that constituency to the NDC easily?
No, I think that is of the constituency ledger Kuku to make. That is a sole decision of them to make. At the end of the day,
Then what was the point of your agitation?
Julius, the point is that no, Emefa asked me a
Julius,
question
Julius.
that because
Don't mind
the
Julius, answer
issues,
me.
because of the issues around the general hospital and all, don't we think that we have gifted the constituency to NDC? And I'm saying that that is not the decision of the three of us to make here. It is a decision of the
It's not
good
a
people
decision,
of.
it's a question.
No, yes, and I'm telling you
decided,
that
I'm wondering.
it is a question for the good people of Lejokuku to
If
make.
they ask this
Are you
question,
getting me?
if they ask
No,
this question,
you
if this
see-
question
you
is a
see,
relevant question,
the point about
do you think that
the point
he can,
about that general hospital cannot be said that it is solely the fault.
It's not, but it's a very relevant point
yes,
to talk
yes,
about.
And
It cannot be the
you,
sole,
and if
but-
you have followed the commentaries of Dr. Okoboy, he is very passionate about seeing this project, seeing fruition.
But
and in
he
fact, the
watched as it
ministry
was demolished at a time
you see,
where
the
funding
point-
was not ready
you
for
see,
it.
we didn't come here to discuss the issue of general
We
Let's
are
go to
discussing
Akusa
Okoboy,
Menu.
who is from that
let's
constituency.
go
No,
to
for-
Akusa Menu.
for
As you have
Akusa
said,
Menu-
it is for the constituency
Exactly.
to decide.
Now, for Akosia Menu being elected as a parliamentary candidate for Adenta, for me, I think that she has a very fine opportunity
Which is?
to unite the rank and file of the Adenta, party. If you had followed how the Adenta constituency election, pan out every electoral process, it is a swing constituency. The NPP can take it depending on the dynamics and factors that is available
it won't
at the
matter
period of
who.
time. No, it matters. I am saying that we have elected a candidate who, one, is very, very resourceful. Two,
Is she?
yes, very
are the-
resourceful.
what are the
very, when we say
deliverables
somebody is resourceful, it doesn't
She's
necessarily
been the
mean
deputy
it doesn't,
for the
it doesn't
national
necessarily
She
no,
has
no,
a
no.
cash.
It doesn't necessarily
been the
no, let me make my point.
Is
It
that
doesn't
it?
necessarily mean that the person has some money stuck
No,
in
no,
his
that's
pocket.
not.
or
Don't mind him. Answer
that
my
is-
question.
I am saying that
She's been the deputy for the National Youth
she's
Authority.
very resourceful.
How?
One,
You can't
two-
throw this point at
but-
me again.
but-
Like
Emefa,
that.
let me make
It's
my
not
She
point.
has
fair.
a lot of money.
No, no, no,
Emefa,
no.
let me make
How
my
is she
point.
As she did in the
Emefa,
primaries.
I am saying that she is resourceful. She is
How?
resourceful because
Yes.
looking at his life, right, in terms of the private sector and public sector, and the kind of
Educate me.
No, Emefa, you don't expect me to come
But
and
you
sit
must
here.
point out to
No,
specifics. You can't
see the
just
point.
come and
You
make
cannot-
vague
no,
amorphous
I am not
statements
I am not
and
making a
expect
vague
us to
statement.
accept them.
I am not I am saying
Perhaps
it
throwing
is a
about
statement, it is a
slogans
state-
and
no, it is
broad
a
vague
statement
statements
I
has
am
become
making.
the order of the
Let
day.
him make the statement.
Let
Yeah,
me
so
make,
point us
let
to
me
the
make,
facts.
let me,
statement.
I mean, it is
Make
a
the
point I'm
statement.
making. You can disagree. That is your opinion.
I am
But
very
let me
happy
make
What
my
is
because the
the
point.
women
resourcefulness?
empowerment
It's a
conversation
question
is
of
I'm
taking
facts
telling
whether
you
someone
that-
is resourceful or not. You
I
must
am
point
saying-
to the specifics.
Okay, fair enough. First of all, I'm excited because the women empowerment conversation is taking ground and
Anyway.
it's hitting the exact place that we want it to hit. But as you have said,
She being resourceful, what I meant is that I have followed some of the committees that she has been on within the New Patriotic
Okay.
Party. In terms of her fundraising ability,
okay.
she's
So
good
about
at it.
How much she's
Okay.
able to
Okay.
Are you getting
splash
me?
around
Okay.
for
I
elections.
get it. So
Okay.
that aside,
So it's still
that,
about how much she's able to
aside,
splash around
aside
for
that,
elections.
she's a very
It's still about
hardworking.
that.
She's a very hardworking individual. That I think that she leading the campaign at the Adenta constituency, looking at how dynamic she is and how hardworking she is, she can win the seat for
Okay.
us. So by and large, like I said, I am happy as to the results
of the elections,
of the elections
that have come out. Okay.
last week, Saturday and Sunday. I am praying that the winners should be meticulous in their jubilations. They should bring the losers on board. Let us fight and rally behind the elephant to once again defeat the umbrella come 2024.
Aisha won.
I should have a comment on Akosia Menu. I have not.
Jesus. We are done. I
have
mean, I
not.
think
No,
I was
no,
the-
I
no, I was the one-
should
no,
have.
no.
I should have.
I promise,
See,
we are far ahead of time.
No, you don't know. You don't know this side of
I mean,
the
no,
issue.
the
It
point
is
is,
the calmness with
I
which
should have.
it is the calmness with which you were demanding me to solve beautiful.
We agree that I have the
I
last
thought today
bite.
we gave him.
Yes, we
we're
have the
giving him
last
the
bite.
No, but
We
it's not
agreed,
fair
no,
for.
Dios.
If
Can
it
you
is
do
not
it in
fair,
30
seconds?
I
have the last
Can you do
bite.
it in
You
30
can't
seconds?
tell me.
We agreed that I have the
I
last
agree.
bite.
But
Then
30
when-
seconds.
then when you finish, I also have my last
Why would
bite.
you have?
That-
you
that-
spoke
that-
on the
that-
person.
also
be
giving
you
It's
the
not why.
mic.
When did I
No,
speak
please
speak
stop.
about Akosia
Gentlemen.
Menu?
You
Please.
started speaking.
Gentlemen,
Emefa.
30 seconds.
Yes, if you demand equity, you must come
If
with
it
clearance.
exceeds 30 seconds, I'll come in, Emefa.
You asked for your time. I mean, during
No,
the break.
I
just
said
allowed
that
you
for
to
the
say your
purpose
thing.
of today's
Yeah, so-
conversation because it's heavily NPP side.
Of course, but I
thought
think
to-
I have
yeah.
comments to make on
You
Akosia
please,
Menu.
so quickly.
I mean, the only things he was able to talk about is one, resourcefulness, and we were asking if it's about money. He said it was not about money. Then he went into full circles and came back and said
It's a good fundraiser.
Good fundraiser. So it was essentially about money. So you see, when the
But every
new
political
patriotic
party
party,
needs
of
a
course
good
they need
fundraiser.
money, but when the new patriotic party
but
looks at
running for
elections,
election, being
all they
resourceful.
look at
During your
all the time
presidential
is about
primaries,
splashing
during
money
your
around. That's
presidential
point number
primaries,
one.
you told us,
Point number
the
two
people of
is that
NDC told us that
the
Mahama
new
is
patriotic
resourceful.
party.
So we should
going
vote, they should
into
vote for him as
election-
their
election
So then
period.
so
your
what are you
point was
talking about?
relevant
So
then.
if it
Going
is
into
wrong,
2024.
if being resourceful
It's
is
going
wrong,
into that
point.
election.
if being wrong,
You can decide to make this
Hello.
a shouting
Hey,
competition
the
going
point-
forward.
Hello.
And if we decide on that, if we decide on that,
today
none
is
of
not
us is going to be
shouting.
able to
Julius,
put a point
Julius,
across.
the point
Let
is,
me put that
if
down
being
because
wrong,
I
if being
allowed you
wrong-
the whole time
No,
to
if
speak
being
on this
resourceful
Akosia
is
Menu
wrong.
matter. If
Shall
you
I
want
go
to
for a
make this a
break?
shouting
Shall I go for a
competition,
break?
we are going to make it a shouting competition for the
Okay.
rest of the
Of course,
conversation.
we're
We can
not
put that as a
shouting.
ground
You two of
and
you
move
are too
forward.
gentle.
If you
You
want that,
cannot
we can
shout.
do
Have your
that.
take.
Have your
Good.
take.
So the point I'm making is that he went full circle and came back only to conclude again
We have made
on,
the point.
on
Yes.
money.
Yes.
So it's about money and how much they're able to splash around. You see,
I say
the
that?
reason why,
Emefa, did I
the
say
reason
that?
why,
But
you see,
Anthony,
you
when
keep
you
on
stretch
if you are
it
going
a
to
bit,
make
No,
this
you
a
keep
shouting,
on
we're going to do it.
misrepresenting
when you
me.
stretch
It's
the
not
point
keep
a
on
bit,
misrepresenting
it gets
me.
him
No,
to come in.
No,
Julius,
I allowed
Julius,
you to land
no.
that point. I'm going to
No,
land mine. And we
make
can
your
continue on the
point.
shouting
Make your
competition.
point. But you keep
And
on
so you see,
misrepresenting me.
the issue-
I
the
never
issue-
said
Viewers
she's
are-
resourceful
viewers
because
are-
she splashed
viewers
money
are-
around.
viewers are
whenever I allow me to make it, or we go on a
Okay.
shouting match. It's as simple as that. So you see, the point must be made clearly and fundamental. These people who are running in this constituency, for example, you see Akosia Menu. She was deputy head of NYA, National Youth Authority. Her boss, Honorable Pius Enam Hajide, has
Yes.
also gone to contest a seat in the
Yes.
primaries. I started this conversation on that note, that these are people who could see defeat in the 2024 election, staring at their faces. And so they are quickly going to pick up seats in their various constituencies as a getaway plan for their failures in government. National Youth Authority, what has been their output? For 8 years that they were there.
There've
What
been
has
some,
been their
there've been
output?
some,
What has been their
there've been
output?
some.
What has been
There've
their
been
output?
some.
What are the
Recently,
deliverables?
they
What are the
inaugurated
impacts
about
they have made?
1,000
And you see,
employment.
we have this, and
1,200 unemployment.
they have created what,
opportunities.
and which people are in the
I
employment,
mean-
and unemployment has risen under their regime from 5% to 13%.
I mean,
under
I
them.
think that
What are you
you see-
telling me?
you
So
see-
you
okay.
see, when we
Okay,
have
do we still
these
do the
let's
point? Do you want
so
us to do the
these
Aisha
people
one?
who are, you would allow me to make my point.
No,
or
you're
we keep
making
doing
your
the back
point.
and
You're
forth.
making
You see,
your point, but you
Akins,
see that
you
misrepresentation is not
cannot
fair.
demand fairness and
You
not
see,
be fair.
that
It's as simple as
misrepresentation
that.
that you're
I am
making here
going
is
to
not
make
fair.
my point.
Okay,
You
so
made
guys,
yours. I'm
we
going to
finished-
take it as a
member
simple
of
as that.
parliament.
we
So
finished
these
the
people-
conversation
how does
on that.
You see, if
has
you want us
any
to do this,
investigation-
anytime you are
has
speaking,
any
I'm going to be talking
investigation-
inside.
has
We
any
continue to the end of the
investigation- has
conversation.
any
It's as simple as that. You're
investigation-
not
come
going
on,
to have
Okay,
that.
guys.
Not under my
that's
watch.
it. Shall I end the
Not
show?
under my watch.
Shall I end the
Not
show?
under my watch.
Shall I
Yeah,
end the
he knows
show?
that it's fine.
Shall I end the show?
Because you cannot have
Make
your way.
your
No,
point.
no, no,
But
no,
don't
no,
misrepresent
no,
people.
Not under
Hang
my
on,
watch.
hang on.
You made your point.
Guys,
You
let's
made
go
your
to,
point.
let's
Allow
talk
me to
about
make it as
Aisha
simple
one.
as that.
Let's talk about Aisha one. Let's talk about Aisha one. Chese,
No, you can't demand
as if I'm
fairness, and
leaving
when
the
we
game.
allow you,
No,
you
no,
want
there
to,
was
you
a
want to
beautiful
bend
quiet.
somebody's own
People
point.
will
No,
listen,
yes,
listen.
you
Both
can't
of
do that.
you,
You can't do that. You can't want to muddy it when it's not.
both
your
of
turn. I
you,
also muddy it.
both of you, in fact, you alone. Right, let's talk about Aisha one. I don't mind where the Akosia Menu conversation has gotten to, from my right and right. It ends here. The people watching will make the decision. You have made some very valid points. He's also made some very valid points. Let's leave it to the viewers. So Aisha one has been sentenced to 4 and a little months she's been sentenced, and also a fine of what, 48,000 Ghana cedis as well. I mean, you may have seen the decision. Give me a take on it.
Well, the Aisha Huang situation. First, I will speak on the fact of the Galamsey problem. I wish that there would have been strong deterrence against Galamsey and the involvement of foreigners in Galamsey in Ghana from the kind of sentence that Aisha Huang would get. Unfortunately, the law is the law. I think the judge also was clear on the restrictions of Article 19(6), I think, which says that they cannot go beyond the maximum sentence prescribed for a particular offense. You would notice that the Minerals and Mining Act, I think Section 99 or so, prescribed punishment for these illegal mining activities, and the maximum that could be given was 5 years with fine. Aisha Huang was charged at the time where the amendment to the bill was not made, which means that the law which applied to Aisha Huang was that which existed before the Amendment Act was passed. And so she could not get the new maximum, which I think is around 10
Between
years
15
or so.
to 20, I think.
Okay. So if
Maximum would have been.
not, she would have gotten a higher sentence under the circumstances. Unfortunately, there was that restraint on the judge. I think that these situations that we face with galamsey and all those things. It's not only the sentencing which would solve the problem, even though this would have been a unique opportunity for us to serve a clear deterrence. We need to go beyond that and actually evaluate the real problem with illegal mining activities in Ghana. Why do we have foreigners like Aisha Huang operating in Ghana? We have it because our own citizens are unable to participate in an enterprise which is supposed to be one in pursuit of resources that we say belongs to them. Say the resources of Ghana belongs to the citizens of Ghana. The ordinary citizen of Ghana today cannot just go into mining, even what we call small-scale mining. They cannot. The reason why they cannot is because no matter how small you think it is, the scale of investment which is required to be able to do that is beyond them. The reason is because our banking sector does not work. For me, if I get a mining lease agreement today, a license from what do you call it, the Minerals Commission, with approval from the minister and all that, I can't just walk into the concession which has been given me and start working. I need resources to put into it. How many banks in Ghana today would give me the needed resources to go into that enterprise?
Does that mean that's why people are inviting
That's why they
foreigners?
bring foreigners. The reason is because the Chinese already have these equipment. Some of them have it. And then they come and they say they are providing services to them, which is now being made illegal. The mining support services is now illegal. But still, when the person comes and brings those machines and say it is for him, the Ghanaian, and they go into the bush and start messing the place up, how do you know who it actually belongs to? That's why the foreigners come. And the foreigners, when they come, they extend it. They just keep going and going and going, and that's why we have our water bodies being destroyed. All these foreign companies that operate here, even new ones, the very big ones who operate big mining, what do you call it, firms in Ghana. It's not as if the individuals in their homes just have a lot of cash, they don't have anything to do with, they just go pick it up and come and start mining. It's because when immediately they get a mining, license here in Ghana, if they take it to any of the banks in the US, in Europe, and any of those things, they will get the funding to go into these activities. We have a banking sector that is unable to support our own private citizens in doing anything.
And so basically,
and
the
that is the
fight
problem
against it,
we have. So the fight against galamsey, it is not going to work. We can jail as many people as we want. It's not going to work. The reason is because, young as I am, if I should be born in a mining area, for example, I saw my father's land given to somebody because a government in Accra has given the person a mining lease, and the person comes there, make a lot of money from the land, when me, I can't afford to even feed or afford to go to school or anything. The next thing you see is that I'll find a way to go into the enterprise illegally. If you tell me you will send me to jail for 10 years, I'll tell you that, well, it is when you catch me first, before you can even send me to jail. That is the problem we have. And someone who could not, at some point in time, afford even a meal, is now able to probably rent a big house or even build one, buy a car and all that, and you are telling that person he will go to, he will not mind you. He will continue doing what he's doing. So these are the things we need to correct about the situation in Ghana. And
we need the points you have just raised.
And we need a bipartisan effort on these sort of things in this country. The mining challenge, the problem we have with our mining sector. We need even to consider legal reforms. The so-called vesting of mineral resources in the President of the Republic, where somebody sits in Accra, a chief is there, he doesn't know who the person is, the person just shows up with the chief.
I thought we wanted absolute control. That's why we're vesting it into the president.
Well, the so-called absolute control we have, are we now having it? You see, where we are heading to is the situation in the Congo, Mali, and some of these countries, where young people militarize certain areas and declares no-go areas for the security forces.
Take rent of the place, yeah?
Yes, if we should continue on this scale, and there's something I've been warning about, if those things can happen at the heart of Accra, then it will start happening in our mining areas very soon. I don't know, you hardly take Trotsky, you'd have noticed what I'm talking about.
I do take Trotsky.
You take Trotsky. If you take Trotsky, if you see Medina, the bus stop over there, what do you call it? Is it Zongo Junction?
Yeah, is where?
Zongo Junction, right? There are some guys who usually stand there, and this is like the 5th time I'm talking about this on TV, because I want the records when these problems are not solved and the things I'm talking about start happening. These guys stand there. They have knives on them at times. When trotros stop around over there, it's like that whole theft is for them. Even police doesn't control them. They take control of that place. If you stop there and pick anybody, you must pay them. If you don't pay them, they will drag your mate out of the car and beat him and do all those things.
I think that
policemen.
I think that Paul Collier stated this in his article. Yeah, the political economy of of certain environments and how people can take rent of that
Good.
where minerals are cited. But I see your point is very valid.
So I just need this point
Please
very
land.
clear.
Yeah.
If we don't do anything about it, what is happening there? If it can happen at the heart of Accra, people can militarize a bus stop and make it their personal properties.
How much more?
How much more these communities? How long before we have a situation where our security forces will not be able to control people in those places if we cannot control Madina Zongo Junction?
Makes a point.
So it's a problem we have which it will blow out and be disproportionate at a time where we are unable to solve it. The earlier we do something about the mining crisis, the problems we are facing in these areas, and rethink policy on how to solve these things, the earlier for us. If not, we are heading for doom.
Okay.
As Emefa, I think that my brother has made justice to the issues. Just to add a few points to the statement that he just made, is that as a country we have tried a lot of things. In fact, at a point we used to try the deportation, of these foreign miners. Once you catch them, you deport them.
Which was actually experimented on Aisha Huang, and then still she came back.
We deported around 5,000 Chinese, and up to now we are still seeing them mining in our areas and all of that. I think that, for me, I would suggest to government, whether this government or any successive government, that we should take a real look at our forest, mining laws. That, for me, how can you say that a place is called a forest reserve, right? Reserve means that you have put it in place for nobody to do anything there. Now, when you go to this forest reserve area, sometimes the people who are there, the indigents, are not even allowed to even farm in those areas. So why is it that if the indigents are not allowed to even farm in these areas, then you have a law that has a possibility of granting people lease, right, or licenses to go and mine in these forests? It doesn't make sense to me. I also think that we should have a system where our laws will be decentralized, where the chiefs, our assemblymen and women, our DCs and MCs will be held directly responsible for issues of illegal mining. Because if I'm a DC or I'm an MC or I'm a chief or an assembly member, and then I know that once an illegal mining activity goes on and it is found out, I'll be charged and jailed. I would have the responsibility and ensure that anybody who does not have the proper licensing, right, to mine at the right places will be brought to book. Until then, like he said, if we don't approach this issue bipartisanly, we will not achieve any results.
Because really,
we will go in circles.
Consequences affect all of us. Yeah.
You see, the issue of illegal mining, it is an endemic issue, my sister. And the kind of systems they've put in place, sometimes it is very difficult to even apprehend them. It is a whole cartel. I am telling you. And these are people who their livelihoods and their survival rest on these activities. And so they will do everything to ensure that they sustain it. So for me, let us have a real look. I saw your sister stations having some national dialogue on the issues of Galamsey and all of that. Let us encourage that, and
maybe we should have a dialogue. Young people should have a dialogue,
so that we could
on
come on
MS24, because I feel like the responsibility is on us now. Because I really do not see the current doing anything about it. So maybe, as you have said, let's have these dialogues very often and more. Unfortunately, we are not able to talk about the 10% tax on vehicle. I want to park my car. 10% tax for what? For owning a vehicle or what?
Well.
My time is up.
Your time is up?
Yeah, my time is sadly up. Yeah, unfortunately. So next time when I say keep quiet, you both will keep quiet. Somebody has said, "So me because say, maybe 1 minute. Let me borrow 30 seconds. 30 seconds.
Well, that's fine. On the issue of the tax, first of all, the government is saying that 100 cedis on vehicles with combustion chambers, which means almost every vehicle in Ghana automatically, because every vehicle in Ghana uses fuel. You see, I find it quite preposterous. I mean, ludicrous and ridiculous even, that the government of Ghana is imposing that tax, and the reason they are giving us is that they want eco-friendly vehicles in Ghana.
So basically, the electric cars.
The electric cars. So they want people to transition to that. The government itself, office of government machinery, the vehicles they use, the V8s they use, are all not
Will
eco-friendly.
it be on
vehicles.
existing cars or the new cars that will be coming that
Every-
are 10%?
Every
It's a
existing
policy direction that
and
the
you see,
government.
the problem with that is that we must be realistic about, as a people, about which of these foreign impositions we pretend are the reasons why we are doing things. If government
30
is to
seconds.
tell
Let me
us
allow Akins quickly, otherwise it'll be fair.
Yes. So for me, I think that
you know,
this tax, right, is coming in, is a deliberate policy that seeks to achieve a certain policy direction. And I think that as a people, we should look at the policy and looks at the positive side that it comes with.
What's the positive
Not really looking at, oh, they are, because you see, I have always maintained that taxes are not always to generate revenue, right? We have what we call the sin tax, where some of these taxes seeks to.
What's the contribution of Ghana to the carbon problem? Oh, please. You see, I don't like us to lie. The whole of Africa is contributing 4%. What are we punishing Ghanaians for?
Okay,
the whole
guys.
of Africa is contributing 4%.
In 2019,
Thank you so much
the whole
for
of
watching
Africa, that is
today.
true. It's a fact.
In
The whole of
2019,
Africa is
Africa
contributing.
contributed
You are punishing
31%.
His
Ghanaians
name
for
is
nothing.
Akins Opoku.
You are punishing
And his name
Ghanaians
is
for nothing. What
Anthony
was
Davis.
it?